Not your average tabletop. Woohoo!
Welcome to Not Your Average Tabletop. I'm Zach.
And I'm Pepper.
And today we're giving our first impressions of Murano, which it comes to you from Inca and Marcus Brand.
Yes.
I guess it says it's a complete edition.
Complete edition.
I don't know what the difference is between the original.
Not sure.
Maybe
not
this
sure.
one includes that Christmas tree promo.
Oh,
I don't know
there
if
is
that
a Christmas
makes it
tree
complete.
promo in here.
But
yeah, you can talk a little bit about it. I'll see if there's anything noted here.
But yeah, so this is one that I don't remember if it was Tom Vassell or something. Something had me excited about it. It might have just been that it was Inca and Marcus Brand because they are the creators of Rogers of the Ganges, which is a game I really, really love. And I think maybe it might have also been the gondola boats going around the outside edge of the board. It just seemed really cool. And I was like, this looks good. I want to get it. And then I think at some point I saw it on Miniature Market for sale and ended up pulling the trigger on it. And yeah, we had played it one time previously. It's been a little while now, and I've wanted to get it back to the table, and I've wanted to show it to Michaela because I thought there would be a chance she might like it. So we finally got it back to the table after it might be almost a year.
It's probably just under a year.
Yeah, it's been a while, but yeah. So it's kind of a second impression, but first impression at the same time. We forgot to film it at that time. And we were just kind of waiting until we played it again.
Yeah, and you were waiting for Michaela, and now she's not even in the video.
She's not even in the video, which might talk to her thoughts on it.
Oh boy.
A little bit.
But yeah, I
may have been wrong.
I was decently interested in this because, like you said, Inca and Marcus Brand, they did Rajas of the Ganges. I think they do the exit games, which are just two very wildly different types of games.
Yeah, this one is kind of different from both those as well.
I wouldn't say there's much. I mean, there's just a couple things in there where I'm like, oh, that was similar in Rajas. Just very few things, but they're pretty generic things as well. So yeah, this one feels quite different and kind of has a moving the boats around the board. They have a kind of a rondel, maybe
action board.
Yeah, of actions printed around the board,
mm-hmm.
And a bunch of different little gondolas
on there. 5 or 6 of them.
I think 5 or 6, and you're just taking up spaces. And on your turn, you can move one to an empty spot in front of it, but it cannot pass another gondola. So each of them are kind of locked in place, and you can pay coins to move gondolas out of spaces to clear them up, to then slide one in there and take that action. And it's just a really cool kind of movement throughout the game of how certain actions kind of get backed up, and someone's going to end up having to pay like 2-3 coins possibly to move that and get their action that they're wanting. And some of the actions appear multiple times on there if they're maybe ones that happen a lot, so it's not like it's too devastating.
Right.
It happens all the time, but there are a couple times I think they struck a perfect balance with kind of the spacing of the actions and how many there are.
Yeah, I think so, because I don't know if I ever felt like, oh gosh, I need to move a boat. I don't even know if I might have moved one boat in the game, but I know others definitely moved it more than that. But yeah, I think it was just the right amount, because there were times where I maybe would have, but I might not have had coins at those times, so then I had to come up with something else to do.
Yep.
So if I'd had the coins, I probably would have done it, but yeah, I think it's just the right amount. It's not like you're always feeling like, oh gosh, now I got to use coins again, because the coins in this game are very tight, so if you were having to do that, this game would be pretty frustrating.
Yeah, they are so tight that you will lose a ton of victory points just trying to get coins, because there's an action you can kind of build your factories and fire them off, bring in pollution or whatever, so you lose victory points for everyone you fire off, but you're getting these beads, and you can sell those glass beads for coins, which aren't victory points, but
no.
They are very
much everything
very
in the
much
game.
needed to be able to get scoring conditions and different things throughout the game and more buildings. Pretty much every way to get points, you're going to need some coins to purchase those options.
Yes. Yes, 100%, because you're buying the tiles. Really, the only tiles you don't have to pay for are roads, which have to be put up before. So the game is played on like 5 or 6 different like islands.
Oh, yep.
Or whatever. And you're kind of working on filling those up with different tiles. So first you have to kind of put roads out, which there's 3 different colored types of citizens.
Yep.
that'll be laid out potentially on those. You'll kind of get those randomly. Some will have 2 on them, some won't have any. And it's just kind of a cool thing to kind of open up space to put buildings next to
Yep.
those roads, which, yeah, then you'll build out these. There's four different types of buildings.
Yep.
You've got like you said, the factories where those ones are mainly used for that, producing the glass beads.
Yep.
And then you've got the red ones, which allow you to kind of get some special
Ongoing
ongoing
abilities.
abilities, which is cool. And then you've got some white markets, which kind of are the ones that interact with those people that are on the roads.
Yeah.
There's the 3 different colors of those factories, and then you kind of put one or build whatever they are markets. You put your thing on there, and then there's an action specifically kind of sell goods to that many or sell goods to all of them of that color.
Yeah, all the different customers
on the track
on those paths.
roads.
Yeah.
Yep. And then
I think
the gold one, which just has little sigils on it.
Yep. They're the most victory points for placing initially.
Yep.
But they don't really, you don't own them, but they can kind of apply to different scoring cards that you have. Maybe they require a certain amount of those little sigils or whatever. Which that's not, I enjoy.
I think that's probably the most, what you're about to talk about, I think is my favorite part.
You have no clue what I'm about to talk about.
I know what you're about to talk about.
I'm going to talk about how great this rule book is. The scoring in this game is really cool. Like you said, you have all those different islands, and you're building them up with different people there and different types of buildings. And you send your pawns, your gondoliers. I think you can buy and sell them throughout the game, so it's a various amount of different ones that you'll send out, but you can place them to a certain island. And at the end of the game, you will apply or assign a scoring card that you have bought throughout the game to each of your gondoliers. So if you assign it to the one at this island, I don't know any of the names of the islands, but if you assign it to this island, that gondolier, then that card is going to score for what is placed on that island. I thought that is really cool and such a unique thing as you're building the board and then applying your own scoring conditions to all these different islands. That's just something unlike anything I've ever played, and you kind of know maybe what someone might be going for, so there's a little bit of, I could maybe place something over there and possibly mess them up, and you're just trying to fill up your island if you have it just right, like you want an even number of these buildings and these types of people, then you want to fill that up as soon as possible so that no one can mess with those numbers and make you miss out on those victory points. I don't know, it's just a really cool mechanism.
It really is. I 100% agree. That's by far my favorite thing, and I love the fact that when you are putting those gondoliers out on those next to those islands, it's not like you're necessarily assigning a card at that time. So you can, if someone were to screw you, either intentionally or unintentionally, because I think that's the part that makes me okay with that is maybe if we played the game a lot more, you'd know all the scoring cards and then be like, oh, they're definitely going for that, or have an idea that they might be going for something, and then maybe you could screw people a little bit more. But I feel like, especially in the first few games, it's going to be unintentional because maybe you're trying to get the island to be something you want and unintentionally mess you over. So I like that it can be that way, but then if that happens, you've maybe purchased some other hopefully purchased some other cards. I would say that's probably the most important part of the game if you're going to try to win. And then maybe you're like, well, I'm not going to be able to do this one anymore for this gondolier, but I can use this one and at least get some points from it. And then maybe you're like, well, are there any other islands, the one that you were going to do, can I get a gondolier on something else that, is close to that or maybe already qualifies for it?
Yeah, for sure. I don't know, I feel like that mechanism just elevates this game so much. Like, it's already unique. I enjoy the tile placement. I enjoy the kind of rondel mechanism, but if it had any other scoring condition, I feel like this would feel pretty basic. But yeah, I'd say that mechanism alone bumps this up a couple points, and it probably brings me to kind of a first impression, maybe a 9, I'm thinking here. I just really enjoy this game. It can be pretty quick turns as well. It's very simple. Like I said, there's a lot of kind of repeat actions, so it's not like you're just bombarded with a ton of unique actions. Everything is very clear. There's so many different things you can do.
Yeah, I 100% agree. I'm coming in with a 9 as well as my first thoughts on it, first impressions. Yeah, I just really love that mechanism is what really makes this game work, and yeah, I just love the filling out of the islands, and I just love the little drama that's going on when it's like someone's about to build buildings, and you're like, well, as long as they don't put that specific one
Yes.
on that island, I should be fine. I'll dodge a bullet, and then maybe I can fill it up on my turn. And then they're like looking at the space, and then they're about to place something. Well, actually, like Michaela was doing, she was gonna place this one. That was gonna be what I need. What it would have filled up the island, and then
Yeah.
I would have had what I needed on that island. And then she's like putting it over that, and then she moves it over to the other island, and then and then she takes the other one in her supply, which was the one I did not want her to lay, and lays it there. And I'm like, ah!
You gave it away with your great poker face.
I
You
gave
were
it
like,
away.
Yes. She moved it over.
So,
But yeah, and like, so we sold beads a lot in the game,
Mhm.
and we lost. I don't even know how many points. I sold because it's 2 points per. I probably sold like 14 to 16 points maybe, just because of that. I'm not sure how many you
yeah,
did,
I
but
think I was about there as well.
yeah. But the other two players, Michaela and Abby, they
I think
didn't do that.
Michaela didn't do it at all,
Yeah, I think Abby did once.
and Abby did sold. Well, she got
Or she activated
2 or 3 beads.
Yeah, so she
So
took a few
about
negative
4
points,
to 6 points.
but still, with all that difference,
We were all
the three of us, Abby had won by like 4 points, and then all of us were 1 point apart. So
Mhm.
I was second, then you were 1 point behind, Michaela's 1 point behind that, and I'm just like, with all the various scoring cards that we have, everyone's different, and the
Mhm.
different paths that we took here, and it was still everyone within like 5, 6 points.
Right.
That was amazing to me.
yeah. I thought that was pretty cool, and I'm wondering if it'll always end up that close or
Yeah.
not. But yeah, that felt really cool. That,
Yeah,
that was the case.
I feel like I scored like 2 more objective cards than Michaela did,
Mhm.
but then like she had been placing out more valuable buildings throughout the game, and
Right.
hopefully it continues to even out like that and be really
Right.
close games. But yeah, that was pretty cool.
I 100% agree. But yeah, if you want to see some of the components, which I would say aren't the most inspiring, but they look fine.
There's a good bit of color in the game.
That's
the,
true.
The islands are pretty brown right away, but you're going to be covering those up with different colored buildings, and
Mhm.
I like the gondolas. The beads are nice. It probably fits what the look of the cover is. It's
I
got a little
agree.
bit of color, but it still has that kind of Euro-y feel.
Yeah, I would agree. But yeah, if you wanted to take a closer look at that, you can check out our unboxing video that we'll have going up alongside this. But otherwise, we hope to see you there. And as always, don't forget to
Keep on nibbling.
on our content.